Hello, friends, and welcome once again to our program, Quien Soy Yo. We are so pleased that this evening we have two sisters, one a sister of St. Joseph from my own congregation, and the other a sister of the Newman communities of St. Francis, who were at the National Eucharistic gathering in Indianapolis. And they are both vocation ministers in their congregations, and they have wonderful things to tell us both about the gathering as well as about what they learned about young people and vocations. So either one of you, whoever wants to begin, we have Sister Valerie Zatola and Sister Karen Crook. Whichever one of you wants to begin, and then at the end, if we have time, we'll ask some questions.
Okay, thanks, Sister Janice, and thanks, Jorge. We're glad to be here. It was a very amazing experience, as we will share. I am Sister Valerie Zatola, Sister of St. Joseph from Baden, and I am the vocation minister for my community, and I'm also co-minister at the House of Discernment with Sister Karen.
And I'm Sister Karen Crook, Sister of St. Francis of the Newman communities, and also co-minister of the House of Discernment with Sister Val. So we're so glad to have this opportunity to share our experience of the Eucharistic Congress. Val and I were given this opportunity to go to the Eucharistic Congress because Sarah Club around the nation donated money for religious communities to be exhibitors at the Eucharistic Congress. So we're very greatly very grateful, thank you, Val, for Sarah Club to give us this opportunity to experience the Eucharistic Congress and to also promote vocations. So on Tuesday, July 23rd, we set up our booth. I'm getting ready for people to come on Wednesday. And Wednesday at 12, people were coming and coming and coming. Our booth included information on the Sisters of St. Joseph, the Sisters of St. Francis, and the House of Discernment. We talked to so many wonderful people, and we're so happy to be there. People came from all over our nation and a ton of different cultures. It was a very diverse population of people. Almost 60,000 they counted at the Eucharistic Congress. And we had a lot of conversations about religious life in the House of Discernment.
Just as Karen said, it was a profound experience. I think one that took me by surprise. I could never have imagined feeling the way I felt. It was truly Eucharist, the living presence of Jesus Christ in such diverse and beautiful people, our sisters and brothers. Culturally, there were many from African descent singing and dancing with such joy, of Asian descent, and of course, of Hispanic descent. We were so happy to see how our church has grown in welcoming and including our Hispanic brothers and sisters, whether it was at Mass that was easily translated on the big, what do they call this, screens, those trons, in Spanish. Yes, in Spanish. Songs, again, were in Spanish. But I think, I don't want to go too much more into that kind of stuff, because what most touched me was how many faith-filled Hispanic folks were there, and just the devotion was so evident on their faces. And so many came to us. They came to us with questions about their faith, questions about religious life. And I have to say, at one point, Sister Karen and I experienced or was feeling that there wasn't any Spanish materials. And so we ran down, Sister Karen did, to the NRBC booth and got a packet of Spanish prayers. And I think we used all of them, right? It was over 100. But they were so grateful for that. And I left feeling like, we got to do a little bit better than this. We really do. There also was such diversity in age. There was families, many families with lots of children, some in strollers. There was youth groups. There was young adults stopping by again to have questions about their faith, questions about religious life. There was also many groups, not just religious congregations of men and women, some in habits, some not in habits, but there were lay groups, many families, all so devoted and so happy to be together. Many would say to me, isn't this wonderful to be with all these people who have and share our same faith? It was a profound witness of Eucharist, the living presence of the body of Christ.
I also felt enfolded in this joyful, faith-filled spirit of the Eucharistic Congress. The highlight, which Val touched on a little bit, was the Mass at Lucas Stadium with Cardinal Gregory. It took forever for the priests, all the priests, to come into the worship space. So many religious sisters were there, surrounded by lay faithful. Cardinal Gregory gave this wonderful homily on the Eucharist about being in the presence of Christ in the body and blood of the bread and wine, but also in when we serve others, that is also Eucharist. In the spirit of unity, they had a lot of the verses of the songs in Spanish, which I was really happy to see. And they also, at the Eucharistic Congress, had a Mass in the Spanish language provided every day. And I think it was like over 100 prayer cards we handed out at our booth. And being welcomed, the feeling like all were welcome at this liturgy and at the Eucharistic Congress, and our church being so blessed by so many different cultures and nationalities.
It really was an overwhelming experience. It's hard to, we struggled, both of us, to put words to it. And I'm still struggling, I think it was so grace-filled. And as you would have it, God's love is not something that can be contained. It just has to overflow into the lives of others, but most especially into the lives of those most in need, those most not welcomed and not brought into the fullness of the body of Christ. I was so reminded that, yes, this is a Catholic church, universal by name, and welcoming all, but we still have much work to do. Our tents need to be widened, our hearts need to be opened, our arms and our parishes need to continue to grow in welcoming every single person without exception.
I also was very aware of the voices that were missing at the Congress. Voices of many Catholics who are not accepted in our church today. Voices that challenge us to speak truth to power in a prophetic way. The voices of the LGBTQ+ were not there. When we exclude people or groups, we rob ourselves of the opportunities to see other aspects of this amazing God that we worship. And our image of God is stifled. We cannot complain that no one attends liturgies anymore, and then in the next breath, keep them out of the pews. So I recognize that I too need to work on this in listening to all voices of the church as well, and challenge when those are excluded as well. So I pray that we continue to grow in Jesus's message of radical welcome and grow in our understanding of Church Universal. And the Eucharistic Congress did welcome the Spanish-speaking members of the church to the event and provided space for the Spanish language to be spoken. And for the future events, I hope that we do even better, including all at the table of the Lord.
I think in ending, I can safely speak for both Karen and I when I say that we were filled with such joy and hope. So very grateful for this Eucharistic experience. Again, Jesus Christ was so very present and alive in the faith-filled and hungers of the faces of so many, all ages, many cultures, various devotional practices, all gathered together with love and hope.
Janice, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
Thank you so much for reminding me. Thank you so much. It's very clear that you really prepared this presentation, and I'm so grateful for the effort that you put into it, not to mention impressed by how you were able to articulate what you experienced. And well, one brief question, are you aware of any others from Pittsburgh who were present there? And then secondly, do you think there's some way we can gather together and sort of replicate that wonderful energy and devotion that you saw in the people and that we saw, we who were able to participate in the pilgrimage as it passed through Pittsburgh, the tremendous devotion and a sense of solidarity and communion that we had, some ideas you might have about us replicating something on a smaller level here in our diocese? Even if it's with youth, I would be thrilled.
So I think the Pittsburgh Diocese had 2 busloads of people. There might have been more. And one of my friends who was here at the House of Discernment, the first person to participate in the program, came to visit us at our booth, and so did another young woman who we have worked with in the past, came to say hello a couple times. And so yes, there was a good showing of the Pittsburgh Diocese at the Eucharistic Congress. And during Mass, we could see Bishop Zubik behind Cardinal Gregory when he was giving his homily.
Your question, Janice, about how we can replicate on a smaller scale was brought up many times. People were saying we have to do this more. We have to find a way to continue this experience of such diverse union, of people, the appreciation of each other, not judgments. And, it was extremely welcoming and warm. I don't have any answers, but I certainly would welcome being part of anything and, to generate ideas and plans for how we can continue this.
One thing that comes to my mind, of course, this is exclusively Hispanic. When we hold on the diocesan level the feast day celebration of Our Lady of Guadalupe, we have representatives of all the Latino Catholic groups within the diocese come for that night. And it's just so moving. And another example of communion. So that could give us sort of a model
Right.
Of a gathering. I mean, I have in mind that I would love for us to be able to bring together Latino youth from all parts of the diocese for something animated and like there was an adoration. Jorge can help me out on this. There was an adoration held in Spanish at St. Paul the Cross Monastery not too long ago. Oh, it was so moving and so powerful and so animated, so fervent. So anything we could do of that nature, maybe Jorge in his role with ministry for the Hispanics of the whole diocese. Maybe he can help us come up with some ideas.
Yeah, we're trying to do several activities. As you know, since 2017, we start to have Eucharistic adoration and procession in the Latino churches each year. And then in the celebration of Our Lady of Guadalupe, we also have a 1 hour adoration before the Mass to invite the people to do that. And then we also have these spiritual exercises, and we have all night adoration on Saturday, from Saturday to Sunday, and that's help the community to grow. I have a question, and it's very similar to Sister Janice's question. Is there is any further steps here in the parishes around the diocese, also in the entire USA, or just the only thing that we hear is that the next Eucharistic year is going to be, if I recall correctly, in 2033, or there is something else?
Right. No, I haven't heard anything more than that, but Jorge, what I'd like to ask, and I don't know if it's possible, I finally was able to, Sister Karen and I were finally able to go to the Our Lady of Guadalupe Mass, and it was absolutely beautiful. But is there some way in which that Mass can be advertised or promulgated in all the parish bulletins, you know, so that it's just such a beautiful experience that, you know, not being, of course, a Latino, but I appreciated it. I grew in my faith because of it. And anyway, so that's one thing I'm wondering. I meant to kind of say that after the Mass, then I kept forgetting, but it popped in my head right now.
No, absolutely. That's an amazing idea. In the past, we used to advertise, but we send it in this weekly report to everyone, and not all the parishes used to print it and put it for their people. Something that we are doing and is helping us in short and long term is to invite the schools. So the first year we start inviting North Catholic High School. Then we start inviting, I don't remember the name of the school that is in front of the cathedral. We also invite them, and this year we start inviting at San Joseph High School. So the idea is
Oakland Catholic is the one you were thinking of, Jorge.
Yes. Right. So the idea is to invite them so the students can participate, and then that will bring also the opportunity to come back. With North Catholic High School, we have been doing that from almost 4 years, and it's working very well. So each year they bring around 50 people, students plus some parents, to participate in the Mass. And something that is important to mention, and probably Sister Janice will clarify if I make a mistake. In the past, it was mainly a Latino celebration. It was around 70% Latinos and 20, 25, 30% Anglos. And this year, if you were present, we saw around 55 Anglo% and 45% Latino. So it's something that is Bishop Walter Shai is very interested to start including the entire diocese in this celebration, because it's helping everyone. And thanks God, right now we are around 50% each community, so we are growing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll have to use a stadium.
I hope so.
So, Jorge, would it be possible for our communities to have this recording?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, what I want to do is, as soon as the next step is download the video and then put the audio in English with subtitles in Spanish, and then the plan is to pass it to you so we can share it in both communities, so we can enrich everyone together.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Not-
you both. Thank you for so generously sharing with us. Wonderful, wonderful conversation that we could just keep going on and on. But I think our taping has come to a close. No, Jorge?
Yeah, Janice, let me tell you this. I immediately texted our communications and leadership and said, we need more Spanish prayers, brochures in Spanish, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe you can help me and continuing to knock on their doors for that.
And I can help with the translation if that's the case.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jorge.
No, thank you so much for coming. And we will stop the recording, but you can stay. Thank you everyone for coming. And Sister Janice, if you want to give thanks to everyone.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Muchísimas gracias, we say. And your presence was a gift for us. Thank you.
We're
You're
glad to
welcome.
have done it.